to speak basketball.
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Kyle Lowry. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks
Basketball Podcast.
I am your host, Freddie Rivas, and who, sir, are you?
You check my notes. Yep, producer Matt Duncan. How you doing, Fred?
I'm doing very well and happy to know that you have brought your notes.
Check the LinkedIn. Check. Here we go.
Yep, you have a lot of notes. Clearly, I'm glad you got a whole book for that. I hope you're not snowed in. I'm not snowed in, but it's a healthy amount of snow.
Yeah, it's like a healthy amount. It's a bit of a weird start to the snow season. A lot of it's melting pretty fast, I feel like. I used my new snow blower out there, and it was feeling pretty wet. So,
yes. So was it a good experience?
Yeah, it was the first time I used it, and it was great. Yeah.
Snow
Loved
flying
it.
everywhere, I bet, eh?
Snow flying everywhere, slush hitting trees.
Oh, that's good. I got, you know what? I'm glad you said the word slush. I got slushed by a car today.
Oh, that's the worst.
On Dundas Street, Dundas and Bloor. I got smoked.
Oh, yeah. Shit pools
fun.
at that corner. That's a pooly corner.
Yeah, it was right across from the boxing gloves.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I know exactly where that is.
I walked across the street. I was pissed. And because I got really soaked. But I was walking home, so I'm like, whatever. And I saw it was a black SUV, and it pulled over to where all those cabs were. And I was like, I'm going to give this person a piece of my mind. And as soon as I got to where those cabs were, there was 3 different black SUVs.
Oh, no.
And they were all, I don't know, I couldn't tell. There's nothing. I looked at the different passengers and I was like, oh, that doesn't do anything for me.
Just dripping with salt and,
right.
sludge.
Yeah, and construction dust.
Dust.
But yeah, we got a fun pod. Basketball's coming up in 3 weeks, man.
It's pretty crazy.
So, yeah, training camp. This kind of very condensed. Was no summer league, but very condensed. What are the practice games called?
Preseason.
Thank you. Yeah, very condensed preseason. But it's a fun pod we got coming up. We got some good subjects and some nice laughs. But if people want to, find us online or listen to us or give us a good rating or, I don't know, perhaps buy a lovely toque to warm their head up.
Yeah.
And even support us monetarily. How can they do all those things, Matty?
We've got all kinds of stuff at our website, dunkspodcast.com. Stuff for you to click on, the social media widgets, the podcatcher widgets, the Patreon widgets, the Sonar Network GIF. It'll take you where you want to go, okay? And, I just want to say, if you did use our Manscaped code in the month of November, thank you very much. We don't know yet. It'll be interesting to see. But
we'll never know.
Maybe you can still use it. I don't know, because it was a sweet deal, and you need your ball trimmer or your ball cropper.
Get in there, folks.
I can never say any of their products without laughing.
It's December 2nd, but it's not too late to get in there. You know what I mean?
Hey,
snip, snip.
Santa Claus would want some ball duster. So go to their website, try the Dunks Pod code. Maybe it'll still work. Maybe it'll still freaking work. But anyways, thank you. And yeah, please, we've got our Patreon, and if you want a toque, now that the snow is falling, we do have Confederacy of Dunks toques. We are running low right now. So you want to get these suckers in while you can. We have a Shopify. We don't have a link to it, but just Google Confederacy of Dunks Shopify. It's going to come right up.
Check it out.
It's going to come right up. First page Google, right? Maybe your brother did that favor for us. God bless him.
We'll never know. Also, new hot sauce. So,
Oh yes, I gotta come
Get
by
in
and
there.
get that. I gotta come by and get that.
obviously, check out the Sonar Network. There's a bunch of good stuff going on there, as always.
Yeah, Sonar Network, lots of new podcasts always getting added. Lots of funny stuff on there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for our pluggity plugs.
Heck yeah. And just a heads up to everyone listening. We're not going to be talking about the, Terrence Davis reporting to camp. Obviously, the Raptors and the NBA will be sorting that out, but we will just kind of reaffirm on this podcast that we do believe women, and no man's reputation and or career will ever trump a woman's safety.
Well said.
And of course, email your city councilors, call your city councilors, Black Lives Matter, and defund the police, folks.
Yeah.
But I think we're good to go. Maddie, if you feel like we're all set, please, sir, just give me the okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're about ready to rock here. I'm super pumped to be talking Raptors ball. Only, well, I guess when people are hearing this, only 21 days away from actual basketball, which is hard to deal with. But I'll just get rolling with the guests here. Guest number one, I've wanted to have on the podcast a long time ago, and it's sort of worked out this week. Or sorry, I've wanted to have him for a long time. Yeah, he's amazing. He writes for Raptors HQ. He's on a bunch of podcasts, and he's basically on a bunch of Raptor stuff you've seen before. I've seen him on CP24. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Jay Rosales.
Thanks so much for that intro.
Hey man, no problem. Thanks for letting me get through it. Like I'm a stutter machine, so that's just
all good. It's all good. It's all good. But thanks for the kind words, and yeah, I'm excited to be on here. Thanks for inviting me, and I echo your words. I know that the producer of our podcast over at That's a Wrap, Jason was on this show before, and I can't remember why I couldn't join him, but again, I'm happy to be here. Better late than never, right? So yeah, excited to be here.
Sweet, happy to have you. Let's get going on guest number two. Yeah, I've known him for probably like 4 or 5 years, maybe even a little bit longer. Done comedy with him a bunch. He's a hilarious dude, an amazing improviser. I'm not sure if he's still like a major Lonzo Ball fan. Maybe he's moved on to LaMelo. We'll see. Yeah, give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Antony Hall.
Oh, yeah. Here I am, Antony Hall.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah. Chilling like a villain, and happy to be here to add to my Sonar podcast guest count.
That's big.
True.
That's big. That's super coveted, like in Toronto, if we're being honest. Like people want those Sonar counts. But
Number 14. Here we go.
14. Wow, that's big time. When you get to Canes, let me know, man.
Yeah.
That's huge. Okay, let's just go right into some Raptor stuff, because there's a lot to talk about, and I feel like I'm always running out of time. Maddie, if you got a Raptor sting for me, please just give me whatever you got, the best you got.
Raptors fans.
Okay, so I think the freshest thing in Raptors world, in Raptors land that I know of, anyways, is the departure of Rondae Hustle Jefferson. I wasn't sure if he was going to resign, or even if I specifically wanted him to resign. I mean, he was a part of a lot of really amazing moments throughout the year. Obviously, the Mavericks comeback was so huge. And I've said on the pod before, during early COVID, I went on like a giant comeback deep dive, and he's been a part of some other huge comebacks. So he's one of those guys that really kind of just brings the energy, brings the hustle. Raptors fans know, the JYD. I don't know if Damari Carroll ever earned the JYD 2.0 moniker he tried to give himself, but Rondae was definitely like a hustle character. Let me start with you first, Antony. Is it a current guy we have on the roster? Is it a Baines or, maybe a Bembry that's coming in? Who's going to bring that same type of Rondae energy? Like, not necessarily loose cannon, but that same feel you'd get when like Reggie Evans was in the game, or, someone who you just don't exactly know what to expect, but good stuff happens.
Yeah. So I'd say, like, to be overwhelmingly positive about our additions to the team, I think Aaron Baines is going to bring a lot of fight and hustle, especially when he's going for rebounds. He averages like 5.6 rebounds a game. But he does play with like sort of this like relentless energy. And the fact that we got him made me really happy, and probably made the social media department of the Toronto Raptors really happy, getting that Baines fan club with a 73.9K follower count.
It's big.
Yeah. And I'm also kind of excited about Bembry as well. Like, I had not seen him play a ton, but one of my memories of seeing him play was I saw him with the Atlanta Hawks like a couple years ago when they had Jeremy Lin, because I wanted to see Jeremy Lin in the flesh. So I bought tickets to that game. And they like Lin and Bembry both lit it up. Like, what I noticed about Bembry is he has fucking hops. Like, he can jump, and he finishes at the rim like pretty well, and has like energy offensively and defensively big time. So I'm excited to see those two dudes, and I think them together, their combined energy will replace the hustle that Rondae left us. So
yeah, that's a great answer. Where are you at with like, who do you think is going to be kind of like wear the hustle cape, Jay?
I love everything that Anthony said, actually, and I'm kind of, I guess, piggyback on that and agree that there's going to be a part of that coming from Baines. A part of that is going to be coming from Bembry. One of the first, I guess, scouting reports that I read about Bembry is he's very much like an agent of chaos, similar to Rondae Hustle Jefferson. So in terms of look and feel, you can kind of look at Bembry and say, you know what, he's kind of like an RHJ with a better handle, a better court vision. So, whereas whenever RHJ was dribbling the ball, you were kind of cringing and waiting for him to fall in the ground, or
especially when he'd take it up, like he'd be like, is he dribbling the ball up?
It was mesmerizing. Like you had this feeling he was going to lose the ball, but somehow stumble his way into a layup or something, and it was entertaining and frustrating to watch all at the same time. At least with Bembry, his chaotic manner is somewhat under control. From a statistical standpoint, I really do like the mention of Baines here. When we as Raptors fans love watching Kyle Lowry take charges. Well, Baines is right there behind him. While Lowry's sitting first in the NBA in charges drawn per 48 or whatever, Baines is right there at number 4. The screen assists are higher than Ibaka and Gasol, so I think he's going to be sending these bone-crushing screens to open up the floor for guys like Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam to kind of run downhill. And then loose balls recovered, he's somewhere in like the 90th percentile on loose ball recovery rate, which again is one of the top in the league. So from a hustle standpoint, I like what Baines brings statistically, but I love what Bembry brings to the eye. Like the eye test, like I think both of these guys are going to be instant fan favorites when they hit the floor. Even if we don't have the Scotiabank Arena crowd to kind of cheer them on, I think that the fans watching at home are just going to love these two.
Yeah, I think like I totally agree with both you guys, and like one big thing I think Masai and Bobby went for this offseason was that grit and kind of like athleticism, because you weren't going to be able to replace this cerebral, veteran experience, court savvy. You're not going to get someone like Mark who's calling out the other team's sets, can speak multiple languages, ditto Surge. So I think, well, actually, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't sell Bane short, but I do think that we kind of like are getting some hustle back as a collective. My like pick for one person for this, just to answer my own question, was Boucher. I think that's where Boucher is going to carve out more of a role for himself. Like he's already is kind of a hustle guy, but just with the confidence of the extra contract, I see him, especially if the three is not a little bit better and he's not a little bit sharper, he's going to have to bring all of the energy he has every game, make his fouls count, that sort of thing. Jay, let's stick with you. And well, I don't know. I think we might bounce around a bit for this, depending on who we agree and disagree on, I guess. But I guess I'll start with saying that I not to foreshadow anything, but I do think the Kemba injury or knee treatment kind of affects my answer to this question, and I'm surprised that it does. But without further ado, who do you think is better than the Raptors in the East, Jay?
Oh, you know what? I actually posted my latest article for Raptors HQ went up today, and I basically took the opportunity to slander every single East rival. And
as you should,
as I should. And you know what? I try to attack these things with at least some statistical background or some sort of story behind it. And to be honest, the Kemba thing didn't even make my Celtics slander.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that just adds to it. So I guess the short answer is, I guess I have to say that, I guess out of respect to what they've accomplished in the regular season over the last 2 years, that the Bucks would have to be considered there. Yeah, outside of that, there are bad things about every single East foe here, right? And it's kind of hard to say with any kind of confidence to say that any one of them are really that much better than the Raptors. Now, again, I got to, give a little bit of respect here and say, okay, fine. Well, I wouldn't be surprised that if the Bucks were to underperform this year because of their lack of depth. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami kind of came out the gate slow because they had the shortest offseason than any other team, and they rely on guys that are in their 30s now, in Goran Dragic and Jimmy Butler and the corpse of Udonis Haslem. So there are things to not like about each of these foes. But again, going back to your question here, I guess I will just say the Bucks. But otherwise, every team, that there's going to be a clump there between 2 or 3 all the way down to 6. It's going to be very similar to last season there, where they're all kind of clumped together.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think I was, anyone who listens to this podcast knows that I was not one of the people who doubted the Bucks and was fairly surprised at how the playoffs went down. I thought the Bucks were awesome. I thought they were the best team heading into the playoffs, and I thought that if the Raptors were going to make it to the finals, it would be through them. But again, I think the Bucks are going to be good. I think they're going to destroy the regular season. Drew Holiday is going to solve a lot of their issues. I think, depth for sure. Like who knows with the playoffs if Bud will finally make any adjustments or whatever. But they're the team. Them and Boston were the teams that I was kind of like, and not just because Boston beat us last year, and I know they lost Hayward and got Tristan Thompson, and that weakened them. But I was still giving, I guess, trying to give like respect, as you say, to Tatum and Brown and Smart, and watching those guys for 7 games and their development track. I think our guys have a fantastic development track as well. OG, Pascal, Fred, Norm is incredible. But yeah, the Kemba injury until January, I think definitely for me, like I'm not sure if it's Teague they brought in.
Yeah, it's
Whoever
Teague.
it is not, that's not enough to like impose yourself on most teams. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm the Bucks. Antony, do you want to throw some cold water on us? Like maybe the Brooklyn Nets, maybe the Sixers.
Oh, well,
yeah.
you read my mind.
Did I?
I mean, it's probably the most basic answer that I can give you, but it's hard to ignore the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie coming back and Kevin Durant coming back, and them still having Dinwiddie and LeVert, and them trading for Landry Shamet. Like, I think
they signed Harris too. I think.
Oh, Beef Jerky Joe. Of course, they extended Beef Jerky Joe, who is, I think, a really reliable shooter, which can hurt a lot of teams like the Raptors if we don't get our three in order and if we can't attack from beyond the arc. Yeah, it's like, one of the best players in the NBA is coming back to a team that was already pretty good and made the playoffs. Like, it's hard to ignore that. And I know they're going to probably be pretty good unless Kyrie is so toxic that not even KD can save him.
Well, I think there's a chance that might happen. No, I mean, like, I think like my homerism's really being tested with the Nets, because I feel like, yeah, like, Jay was saying earlier, I'm like, well, trying to look at them practically. And I'm like, I love Steve Nash. I also love D'Antoni. I'm not one of the people who disparages D'Antoni for his lack of playoff success. I think he's he's had some high profile failures, but I think he generally is like a basketball savant, or close to, maybe not anymore. But anyways, the head coach is Nash, who I think will probably be pretty good. They didn't lose as many role players as I thought they would. And, honestly, the big thing I'm still a bit unsure of is if KD is going to be, I'm curious what he'll be post Achilles injury, as far as like a major impact on the league, like all NBA player, just because that injury is so severe. But
and he's 32, right? I mean, once these players hit 30, and that's kind of the begin of the decline. So that is really that's also a concern that I have. And then, Kyrie Irving has never played more than 75 games in any season. Like, obviously that's not gonna happen this year, but like the I guess the theme with him is he usually does sit out games, right? And then we haven't even touched on, where's their defense really? Like they have Jordan possibly sitting there in the paint waiting to swat some things, but other than that, like if they continue to start Jordan over Jared Allen for some ridiculous reason, then they will continue to give up like 120, 130 points. That's my big that's I guess one of my bigger concerns outside of what you guys have already discussed, which is the health. But yeah, I just have way too many questions about Brooklyn. I mean, you're right, Anthony, in terms of like the ceiling for them is incredible. Like they absolutely can, challenge for an East final. It's just with all these question marks, I can't confidently say, I can confidently say that the Raptors will probably finish better than them in the standings. And I was debating whether or not I give the hot take of, I think the Raptors would sweep them in the regular season. Woo! In the regular season, like they're going to face each other 3 times, right? So yeah. I hesitate to say that. So let me just say that I think that at the very least the Raptors win 2 of 3.
You know what? No, this is good because we're still fresh off of a championship, and we're still, we had this incredible 7-game series against Boston. So we're good. We're still really good, and I think Raptors fans should be confident. But Antony, who else did you have? Did you have the Sixers or anyone else? Or
I did not have the Sixers. I just don't see them being better than the Raptors. I don't know. I think they're going to be. I'm very interested to see the Sixers. I don't think they're going to be better than us because they have too much to figure out. I'm also wary of trusting Danny Green at this point in his career. Seth Curry, I don't think is like the world beater that that Sixers fans expect him to be. Like he's a guy who he's fast, he's got the handles, and of course he is a Curry, so he can shoot. But if he's the starting two, like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
How do you guys feel about the Sixers this year or this upcoming season versus last season? Are they better? Are they worse? Are they kind of the same?
I think they're a little bit better just because, like, organizationally,
Yeah.
there's more of a, I think there's going to be more of an impetus on, playing sophisticated, like, basketball, and not really like, I don't know, but I was a bit wrong on Philly last year, to be honest, as well. I thought they were
Oh, me too.
going to do better. So
yeah, I had them at number 2, I think.
And I didn't think Horford. I'm a big Horford fan, so to me, I didn't expect him and Embiid to gel so poorly. But I'm a believer in Simmons and Embiid. So I think with more shooters, they will roughly be the same, but I think overall better from just like maturity. What about you, Anthony?
Let's see. Yeah. The only other team I had that I'm excited about is Miami, just because I thought that the pick that they got in the draft this year was like just perfect Miami development. Like the Precious Achua is like, he's basically like mini Bam. So like having like 2 of those guys is absolutely terrifying. And like Tyler Hero is another year older, and they still have Duncan Robinson, who is my favorite, like, long white dude to watch. So, like, they're a team that I'm looking forward to watching them, but I don't know if they're better than the Raptors, but, like, it's close. I think it's close.
Yeah, I think it's all going to be quite close. We're still, I feel like I say this, like, all the time, but we're still in a post-Golden State world where teams are working towards like stacking their teams, after that. Like it's the whole complexity, the whole wheel broke when the Raptors beat the Warriors, I think. And I think even the Lakers are in, still in like, not in like a fully built, complete mode. They're still building and gelling. But let's just, let's get a bit silly here for a sec. Anthony, I'm going to stick with you. I just feel like Tampa owes us something. We got the Jays and the Raptors now, giving them. I know the fans can't watch, or I don't think they can. But actually, if they can, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I guess Florida might have more like different laws around that. But regardless, they're getting a lot of good sports content. Like that mini Jays year was pretty exciting. And this Raptors year is going to be incredible. So
yes,
I'm thankful it's in our time zone. Other than that, I demand Tampa Bay give us something, give the city something of some kind as a thank you. I don't know if it's like a Statue of Liberty or something of that nature. Hopefully it comes built, obviously. But let's start with you, Anthony. What do you think, Tampa could do for us?
A Tampa's gift to Toronto, huh? I was like trying to see if they had any sort of like signature food item or cuisine that they could enlighten the chefs of Toronto with, but it's not really anything that we don't already have. They have pretty heavy like Spanish and Greek and some like Southern food stuff and some Cuban influences. So like, not anything that we don't already have in Toronto, aside from maybe Cuban. But I think the real deal Tampa Bay gift to Toronto, this will be for all of my Maple Leafs fans, is to bring Steven Stamkos home. Let Steven Stamkos from Markham, Ontario, come back to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he can play with Johnny. He can play with Austin Matthews.
Matt's loving this.
I don't know if I am, actually.
I was like a 90-year-old who got shocked in an alley just there. Whoa, sorry. Go ahead, Anthony.
Bring him home. And I guess if Matt, you don't want to take on that big Stamkos contract, let's bring Etobicoke's own Cirelli back. How about him?
Yeah, let's go with that. Someone with less crazy injuries.
he's a good serviceable like third line center.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he'd be solid. But we got Big Joe there now, so he's gonna have to wait a little bit.
Okay, yeah, 1 year max.
Okay,
max.
talk.
Leaf talk.
Take a hike, Leaf, talk. Don't make me punch Bob McCowan, all right? That's pretty good. That's like returning Canadians to Toronto, free of charge, I assume.
Yes.
That's good stuff.
No state tax.
No state tax. Cheers for when you visit Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Good. That's good stuff. Matt, sorry, I didn't ask you to think of something, but I know you love this type of question. So I'm going to go to Jay next. But if you got a gift you think Tampa could give us, just start cooking.
Sure.
Jay, what's something real or imagined that Tampa Bay could give Toronto?
Well, I thought the direction that Anthony was going to go with is, he started to mention the Leafs. I thought, okay, well, just lend Toronto the Stanley Cup for a good little while there. It's the closest that Toronto's been to a cup in about 40 years. But, I was going to go with I'll go with another sport and say just the Super Bowl is in Tampa Bay in February. Just give us some tickets. Give away a few to Raptors or a couple of the fans here in Toronto. Just send over some tickets, as a thank you, because we're giving you premium basketball there, and just gift us some Super Bowl tickets.
That's practical. That to me is that's a very modest ask. That's practical. Like that to me, I hope somebody's listening and makes that happen because you know what I mean. That's the least. Tampa, you hear that? We want Super Bowl tickets with vaccines as well. So we want to be vaccinated and we want to be on one of those blimps. I don't know, around. No, actually, screw the blimp. I want to be in the stadium. Matt, is there any Tampa Bay gifts you can think of? I kind of put you on the spot a bit here. But,
no, yeah. There's something very important that I think would be very helpful to a teammate on the Raptors. I would want. So Tampa Bay's hero right now is Tom Brady, and I want Tom Brady to share his secret with Kyle Lowry, whatever his meal plan is or what, so we can have Kyle playing into his mid-40s. Is he doing the meat diet? Is it I know he's got a crazy diet and stuff. Share it with Kyle so we can sign him to just keep signing him and he, playing at a high level until he's 40. Tom Brady's secret, that's the gift.
Give us the Tom Brady elixir. We need it.
The spice.
Yeah, maybe Kyle.
Probably just cumin or something.
Yeah, or maybe there's like a thing where he has a contract with refs to appropriately deflate the basketball to his liking for the rest of his career.
Touche, sir.
Thank you. Wow, I feel like I got a lot of love on that deflated basketball joke. Things are all right. You know what? I'm gonna have the worst answer to my own question because. When I was looking, I think I went down the same rabbit hole you did, Anthony, because I was just looking for Tampa Bay attractions, and I kept seeing this thing called Busch Gardens.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Give us that.
Busch Gardens.
The entire amusement park.
Drop it on the Toronto Zoo.
Pack it up. Bring it down south. I live in the High Park area. Put some of it there. Down here, put the rest there. If there's more, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Have any of you been there to Busch Gardens?
I haven't. Is it cool?
No.
I've
I
been
didn't go.
and it's at least twice as big as Wonderland. It is.
Whoa.
I couldn't finish it. I couldn't finish it in a day. I don't even know if I could finish it in 2 days or 3 days. It's massive. So I would happily take that.
Okay, good. Yes, yeah, there you go. So you know what? Give us Busch Gardens. Enough is enough. I don't know who the mayor of Tampa Bay is, but I'm sure he's listening to this podcast. So good, sir. Get back to work, and with COVID as well. But make sure you send on Busch Gardens to us. But let's move on to some NBA stuff. Maddie, I'm sure you got some kind of beautiful NBA sting for me. So please, whatever you got, give it to me.
This is Adam Silver.
Classic. People love it. The Adam Silver tugboat. It's what everyone thinks of when they think of Adam Silver. When I was watching the NBA draft, every time it like that sound, it makes me think of Harry Potter. I don't know why. Like when Adam Silver comes on with a new pick.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
like,
the draft chime.
You know what? The draft chime. Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt, because of this podcast, I kept wanting one of those to be that sound.
Oh, I've got that sound somewhere.
No. I mean, I wanted Adam Silver to walk out to your tugboat.
Oh, to the tugboat. Okay.
It was a dream that couldn't happen. Okay, let's go to you first, Anthony. I think there's going to be potentially a couple new playoff teams this year, but who do you think's the most likely new playoff team? Like when you're looking at the standings, or like whatever, who's the team where you're like, okay, they were not in the playoffs last year, and I guess the caveat is that, or I'll say is going to be in the final 8. So if they finish 10th and then advance, that's fine. But so a team that was not in the playoffs last year that's going to finish in the playoffs.
I think I'm going to have to go with the team that was cheated out of a spot after being undefeated in the bubble, the Phoenix Suns. And that's because of the additions that they've gotten, CP, Jay Crowder. I think those two guys are going to be just what the doctor ordered in Phoenix to help elevate Booker and Ayton. It's going to be fun to watch them. Like, they're going to be a great team to watch. Oh, sorry about the sirens. Living in a crazy part of Toronto.
It's a Parkdale life.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to give away your spot.
So yeah, I think Phoenix is probably the team that I'm most confident to say is going to be a new playoff team going into next season.
Yep. I also had Phoenix. I had one other like kind of cute pick, but I think the Chris Paul, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they miss the playoffs unless he gets injured. Mm-hmm. Jay, are you also Phoenix, or do you got somebody else?
Yeah, I was also going to say Phoenix, but I had like 2 other ones. I don't know. I'm kind of interested to know who your cute pick was, but the one team that I'm still kind of down on in the East is Orlando. I know that, and this is my roundabout way of getting to your answer here, but Orlando didn't do anything this offseason, and the way that they kind of run at, I mean, they're a below 500 team, so any one of Washington, Chicago, Atlanta could leapfrog them. So I'm going to go with the Hawks for this answer. I don't love how their team looks. I mean, kind of like the same reasons why I was hating on Brooklyn's lack of defense, I guess kind of applies here to Atlanta. But at the same time, they did kind of improve their defense, so they've kind of plugged a lot of holes there. And the way that their team looks now with Trae Young kind of leading the charge there, and Bogdanović there, and Gallinari there, and I really liked. I don't know. This is more of as an aside here, but I was really hoping the Raptors would pick up Chris Dunn. The fact that he ended up on Atlanta is kind of a good pickup for them there. And then we forget that despite John Collins being the starting power forward and missing a portion of the season last year, there's Clint Capella there. We haven't even seen Clint Capella play for the Hawks. So like they're a pretty solid team that I think is, maybe they're not going to be world beaters at all, but in the East that you don't need to be just to even get in. So I think that they could they have enough pieces there to sneak in.
Yeah, no, I think that the Hawks are super intriguing. And, even if you think about like Hunter and Reddish, and Trae in their like respective ages, they've been through some NBA suffering. And I mean, I feel like as far as like the 8 missing teams, fans were we're up for some serious surprises because a lot can happen to a player in, a couple months, let alone a year and a half. Who's to say how good, like Levine is now or what have you. But my cutesy answer was actually Charlotte. And only because only because I think that LaMelo is going to have an easier start transition into the league than Lonzo, just from an offensive standpoint. And I think that we're going to have this hilarious short-lived narrative of, whoa, maybe the Hayward contract is actually not that bad. And it's like, oh my God, Michael Jordan knows. Hey, you saw The Last Dance. Michael Jordan knows. And it's going to be like they finish in 10th and then win 2 games, get to the 8th, and then get destroyed. And then everyone's going to be like, oh my God, that Hayward contract is insanely bad. So, no, but I think they have some players too. I think they're, I think Devontae Graham is could very well be one of those guys who, Washington made it to the bubble and Charlotte didn't, but I think Charlotte they could have done what Phoenix did, or not exactly that level of success against the rest of the league, but I think in the East they could have had a similar ripple. I might just be too confident in Charlotte, and maybe if I watch them more, I'll be a little less confident in Charlotte. But
well, anyone could have done better than what Washington did in the bubble, so maybe they could have.
Yeah, that exactly. Washington didn't really show up, and I love how none of us picked Washington as a chance. We're like, oh, Wallace, they have some optimism, but we're all like, nah, not Washington. Come on now. Okay, let's do this last NBA question here. Jay, I'm going to stick with you. And it's just kind of a league pass type question. Who's your favorite kind of non all-star to watch? As a player, you tune in, they haven't made an all-star game yet, but you're getting your full entertainment's worth watching them.
I hate to say this because, I like to spring surprises onto people about names we haven't heard in a while, but I'm going to go back to someone that we've already talked about. I am very entertained by Rondae Hustle Jefferson, and he has no all-star potential. I'm sorry, but
I love it.
I was, my answer was kind of spoiled earlier, but whenever he touches the ball, it is absolute entertainment. And, sign me up for that 48 minutes of every game, especially now that he's with the T-Wolves. That'll be highly entertaining. Please. I would pay League Pass for 48 minutes of that gong show.
I love it. That's a great answer. And 100%, you might be frustrated, but when you watch a game and Rondae's in it, you're entertained straight up. He's part of so many of the best moments in last year's season. And I know, I guess a lot of analytics would say that Nurse was right to not play him in that Boston series, but I don't know. There's a part of that he has a spark, for a player, but I guess, the shooting's just too bad and spacing. But who's your guy, Anthony?
Well, you already know the answer to this. I think you know. Of
course. Sorry, I should have.
It is the elder sibling to LaMelo Ball, Lonzo Ball. He's my guy. I don't know why I support him and stand him so hard. It really makes no sense.
You got to die on weird hills. That's part of it.
Yeah. But I think now that he has a year under his belt with Zion, not that Zion played a ton of games, but to be able to develop the passing chemistry with him, I think we're gonna see a lot of just amazing alley-oops. They're gonna crush some teams.
The Pelicans are gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, they have good players, and now that they have Steven Adams, I'm very interested to see what the pick and roll game looks like with New Orleans. And of course they lost Drew Holiday, who was also really an integral part of their team, and he brought a lot of defense to this lineup. I'm still going to be watching those Lonzo Ball games.
Hey, watch those Lonzo Ball games. Don't watch those LaMelo Ball games. Stay on your brand, man. This is good.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of caught between two people. One, it's just because he doesn't play that much. Is Boban Marjanovic.
Oh, I was gonna say him too. That was a good one.
That okay, and it's there to me. It's not even like a gawking thing. It's like you expect him to be less skilled than he is, and I think it's like he reminds me of like weird wrestling reference, but he reminds me of The Big Show. When I used to watch The Big Show, where it's like this guy's so ridiculously big, but he can kind of do somersaults, and he can, I don't know, he's a bit more Dexter. He's a bit more Dexter than he should be. That's it. But I think that's why I like watching him.
And very entertaining personality. You rang, like all of his fun Boban around the Goban. Yeah, he's the guy.
Is his brotherhood with Tobias Harris like?
Yes.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
very
exactly.
entertaining.
He got his ass kicked in John Wick.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Yeah,
totally.
He's a good dude. Also, I have one more guy. Just quick shout out to Brandon Clark of Vancouver. He's a big time hustle guy. I really loved watching his last NCAA tournament run with Gonzaga. He's got massive hops and gets some pretty killer blocks for like not being too much of a physical specimen. He's gonna have a big season, I think. Brandon Clark.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like my other one was also a Canadian player, but I feel like Boban, based on your guys' reaction, is the right answer. The other one, because it's just, I haven't watched him long enough, but I was definitely really excited by Lou Dort. Just to have I don't know, that was a bit of a different style of Canadian player, like almost like a tough OG, you're not going to get past me perimeter guard. I don't have a ton of memory of those style of guys for Canadian players, but I think we made it to Quickish Questions. What do you guys say? You want to fire off some dumb questions or what?
Let's get dumb.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Maddie, please, good sir, hit me with that Quickish Questions sting.
Quickish Questions.
I feel like I kind of timed that one out. Okay, let me just looking for my Quickish Questions here, guys. Okay, here we go. Jay, since you're new, I'll tell you how this works, even though I explain it every time regardless. I'm going to read off these questions as quick as I can. I stutter, I slur, I'm probably going to mistake a comma. I might have a stroke mid-sentence. That's okay. You have to answer as fast and as clearly as possible. You can't phone a friend. No delaying. Matt, my eyes are on you. Please.
Fair enough.
Sir,
fair enough.
Got to answer quick, okay? All right. If we're all ready, let's do this, Matt. We'll go Anthony J, Matt. Okay. Anthony.
Yes.
What is your favorite NBA GIF from the bubble?
GIF?
GIF? Did I say it wrong? Shit.
No. I don't know. I don't know if I have one. A pass for now.
A pass on the GIF. It was too intense of a question.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll just throw in the OG3 or the Kawhi finger block.
Okay.
Jay, who taught Nate Robinson how to box?
Some homeless guy off the street who had about 4 drinks too many.
Fair. Matt, does Nick Batum, just picked up by the Clippers, still have game? Does he have anything left?
Yes.
Cheers. Anthony, how insulted is Lowry that we're out of the top 10 power rankings?
I'd say incredibly insulted. This happens every year, though. You know, you think that I think Kyle would probably be used to it by now, but after putting together some back-to-back solid playoff performances and a championship, you gotta put them in the top 10.
Nope, they're out of the top 10, baby. Jay, over under on fights this year with Len and Baines up front.
I would say combined.
Yeah, and we'll say a fight is anything that's like beyond a scuffle, like not necessarily a swing, but like getting in someone's face.
Over 3.5.
Yeah, for sure. I think together too, they might fight each other. Matt.
Yes.
What part of his game do you think Siakam should work on the most?
Oh dear. I think it's threes.
Threes, okay. Keep working on those threes. Top of the break threes, corner threes, do them all. Okay, last question. This is an all play. It has absolutely nothing to do with basketball. Favorite bug. What is your favorite bug, Anthony?
Praying mantis, I guess.
Holy crap! I was gonna say that.
Really? Okay. Wait. Are we gonna have a praying mantis sweep? Matt, what's your favorite bug?
I'm not gonna say the praying mantis. I'm gonna say those eyebrows that scoot across your floor and you want to like vomit when you see them.
Oh no!
Those.
My wife says they're your friends. They eat everything that are in the walls. So I've learned to respect them. But those eyebrow
I think you have
bugs.
termites, Matt.
Yeah, Matt's like deck is just falling apart. He's like, these eyebrows are
They're my friends.
Oh God.
I don't know about you guys, but I just got a bunch of Eugene Levy's running around, and my house is A-okay. I'm gonna go with. I was also actually gonna say like centipedes or whatever, because somebody told me they eat like bed bugs, or they eat anything that could be bad. They eat.
Yeah, those the house ones, right? The ones that
Yeah, the house like centipedes.
Yeah.
Also, I feel someone told me they live for 3 to 5 years, and I was like, oh my god, what if?
Oh fuck, they're gross. They're so
reading a book or
gross.
something. That's scary.
Oh.
Okay, on that weird bug question, that weird note, we made it to the end of the pod. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you both doing the pod, and thanks to everyone for listening. Jay, is there anything you got going on or coming up that you want to plug?
No, I already mentioned the latest on the Eastern Conference preview that I've got up on Raptors HQ. Our podcast, That's a Wrap, we typically record every Friday, so you can look out for those on Saturday mornings. And other than that, I'm just looking forward to 3 weeks from now when we get some games going. Thanks for having me on.
Oh man, thanks for being on. Yeah, everyone check out That's a Wrap and Jay's most recent article for Raptors HQ for sure. Anthony, what's up? You got anything coming up?
Nothing too crazy. During the pandemic, I started my own little podcast with my buddy Martin Bennett. It's called Book It Vince. It's a fantasy match booking wrestling podcast. So shout out to Freddie for making that Big Show reference. It really got the juices going for me. So if you like wrestling, if you like fantasy matchups of wrestlers who will never wrestle each other, you want to hear two super fans just talk about it, check us out. Book It Vince on all your favorite podcatchers.
Cool. Right on. Check that out, peeps. Well, Matt, yeah, that takes us to the end of the episode. You know, everyone share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit us up, you know, if you want a toque or whatever. Matt, if you feel like we're good to go, please just give me the okay.
Okay.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.